John here from NoJokeNHL. It's Thursday, October 3rd, 2013. It's the third night of the NHL season, and tonight we get a one of the largest cards so far. We've had 2 3-game slates so far, and tonight we have 8 games on the board. We've seen only one team twice so far. That's the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they're 2-0. They'll be playing again Friday or Saturday. I have to look at my schedule ahead. But tonight we get to see a couple other teams for the second time, one of them being the Washington Capitals. So by this Saturday we'll be able to get a look at least at every team at least once. That's a good thing to start, putting together some more formulas, trying to see, some other things. I mean, but, in the early season, like I said, you really have to feel it out. So, we went down 7 units on opening night, and, I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities to get that back. Not really sweating. Sat it out last night, and I'm kind of glad we did because I was leaning towards the Flyers, and like I said, they looked great in the first period, and the Leafs look a little sluggish out there back-to-back, but they were able to get it together and score 3 unanswered and take that game and go 2-0. So let's look at tonight's card and the plays we're on tonight. So in the first game on the card, Calgary Flames at the Washington Capitals. Of course, Capitals the other night losing 6-4 to the Chicago Blackhawks after having a 4-3 lead with 10 minutes left to go and give up 3 goals in regulation to lose that game. But the Capitals look really good. I mean, Grabovski, I'm going to have a hard time saying that all year. Grabovski, of course, with a hat trick and an assist. Certainly, not going to get that kind of output out of him every night, but he's certainly a healthy addition to what's going on here. And like I said, Adam Oates really has control of this team. Nothing really expected great but for the Calgary Flames. Pretty much a consensus worst in the league team here. Losing Iginla for the first time, starting a season without Iginla for the first time in more than a decade and a half. Certainly, a sign of a new era for the Calgary Flames. So anything we know about them previously, and a lot of it hasn't been good, as of late, we can throw that out the window. We have pretty much a younger team just starting out, and they're probably going to get beat around a little bit. They're going with Kerry Ramo in goal, who in the NHL has really been very pedestrian. Had a little stint with Tampa Bay, playing in a total of 48 games, with a save percentage in the 800s and a losing record, 10 games under 500, or actually more than 10 overtime losses as well. But anyway, he played rather well in the KHL, so Calgary's giving him a chance. But then again, this is Calgary, so even though he played well in the KHL, welcome to the big leagues and sitting here. Now that being said, I mentioned in yesterday's video about taking teams that are large favorites -1.5 just because you don't want to lay that heavy juice. If you don't want to lay that heavy juice, then chances are you probably shouldn't take the game. Period. -1.5 on the Capitals tonight at +145. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. They're not really a -1.5 team. If you go back, tracing it into last year with Adam Oates, and also they, play a lot of overtime games as well. And that's one angle I was looking at this game. Very juicy, +340 to go overtime here. And like I said, Capitals been involved in a lot of overtime games going back to last season and excuse me, in the preseason this year. All right, moving on to the next game, we have New Jersey Devils at the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we have Corey Schneider starting off against Marc-Andre Fleury here. Of course, Corey Schneider coming from the Vancouver Canucks, and creating a little goalie controversy in New Jersey with Martin Brodeur, of course, been there for almost 2 decades now, and he's going to get the start in the home opener. But Corey Schneider going to get the start on the road here at Pittsburgh. Welcome to the league here. Welcome to the Devils here, throwing them right out to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Marc-Andre Fleury, of course, the talk of the offseason. I think the Pittsburgh front office had to do a lot of soul searching and trying to figure out if they wanted to keep him. They decided to go with Marc-Andre Fleury. He's been outstanding in the regular season, but you have to begin to wonder exactly when his playoff performances start to catch up with him in the regular season and the pressure of the regular season. That being said, he certainly has the goaltending world on its shoulders as far as the Pittsburgh Penguins are concerned, with his backup Vukun, who came in to relieve him in the playoffs against the Islanders, is out for 6 weeks with a blood clot. So he's certainly the man here, and he's certainly up to the task. I mean, just look at the team that he has in front of him. I mean, plenty of tremendous weapons. and of course New Jersey losing their weapons like a Siv, Kovalchuk flat out denying tens of millions of dollars to go play in the KHL full time. So New Jersey certainly looks like a team that's definitely rebuilding, if a little below the rebuilding stage this year. So Pittsburgh, of course, a minus 190 favorite, come back at 165 on the Devils, and probably the play here would be Pittsburgh minus a half goal in the first period. This has been money going back to last year. I mean, and Pittsburgh pretty much still has the same team intact. Another great play with the Pittsburgh Penguins is over 1.5 in the first period as well. That clicked at a regular basis last year. Brack7 and I and a couple other people joked that we nicknamed the Penguins the Pittsburgh Prophets, because it was just pretty much just we could have been laying minus 180 and still had value with the way it was clicking last year. So probably tonight that's the play I'm going to be on. I'll probably be on Pittsburgh minus a half goal in the first period at a nice plus 140, and I see them like I said coming out at home and getting a strong start. The over 1.5 is a possibility, but I don't know what's going to happen out of New Jersey's offense. But I look for Pittsburgh to come out at home, guns a-blazing. Moving on, we have Tampa Bay Lightning at the Boston Bruins. Bruins a healthy minus 200 favorite, comeback plus 170 on the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Tampa Bay Lightning, of course, going through some changes as well. A lot of injuries dealing with down there, and goaltending and defense still a big problem for them. They were able to get Anders Lindback from the backup from Nashville, and he's getting the start tonight versus Tuukka Rask. I'm not sure Lindback is the answer. He's probably a step up from Garan and Bishop, but still, he's still probably a second-tier goaltender. He was, of course, behind Pekka Rinne in Nashville. So getting his chance to see if he can be a starter here in Tampa Bay, and but like I said, tough assignment with the way Tampa Bay plays defense. Like I said, Bruins tonight a healthy minus 200 favorite, so probably a game I would lay off. That's another game where Bruins minus 140 or plus 140, minus a half goal in the first period. So probably not a bad move there if you're looking to play without juice, or maybe take Boston in regulation minus a half goal at minus 118. Moving on, we have Nashville Predators at St. Louis Blues, and it's Pekka Rinne versus Yaroslav Halak. And I'm kind of surprised at this price here. The Blues, the game's running together. The Blues at minus 205 favorite, plus 175 on Nashville. And I know Nashville's season pretty much went in the toilet last year, but the season before that, they were outstanding. Now I know they lost some personnel and things like that, but they were able to keep Shea Weber, and they still have Pekka Rinne. So this line seems a little inflated. If I were doing anything in this game, I would probably be on the Predators at that nice juicy plus 175 price. Like I said, this is priced based on last year. Certainly the Blues formidable at home, and certainly the Blues probably at the end of the day a better team here. But like I said, this price is just way too high for a division rivalry, and especially on opening night coming out of camp. So like I said, if I shaded anywhere, I would be on the Predators at plus 175. Moving on, we have LA Kings at Minnesota Wild. We have Backstrom confirmed as the goaltender in Minnesota. Quick is still is likely, but not confirmed yet here in Minnesota. And this line has shifted actually to the Kings. It was Pick'em about an hour ago. Now it's minus 120. Come back on the Wild at even. And frankly, at that price, I would probably have to take the Wild. I mean, the Wild have never lost a home opener. They finished in a tie way back in 2000 when there was no shootouts to determine winners, and so they finished a tie there, and they proceeded to win every game after that. One game where they were they were considered the home team in Europe, they did not win that, but every game at home in Minnesota, they've won and covered, and they've taken 4 of the last 5 against the Kings in Minnesota as well. So I know a lot of Kings backers and maybe the public are driving this price a little bit, but I would have to be, especially at even money or plus money, I'd have to be all over Minnesota here. And matter of fact, mark me down as on Minnesota at even. Moving on, we have Florida Panthers at the Dallas Stars, and starting for the Florida Panthers in goal, Tim Thomas, and he has added an intriguing wrinkle to this Florida team. Really solid goaltender. Sat out the year, after winning the Cup in Boston, and pretty much gave the team over to Tuukka Rask. They released him, and now he's redoing his career down in Florida, going against Kerry Layton in Dallas. And Dallas kind of a wild card. Some people predicting them to do well. Some people are predicting them not to do well, and that's part of the reason why I just consider them a wild card. Is they've got some new people in place, Taylor Sagan, people like that that could end up making a difference. They also signed some veteran, older people as well, so I'm not sure exactly what's going to be with them. But like I said, Tim Thomas adds an intriguing wrinkle. They're at plus 145. The Panthers are minus 170 on the Dallas Stars. This price fell down. A couple sharp people I know on Twitter on the Panthers here. Price is driven down about 10 cents. They're now currently plus 145. They were plus 155 on the overnight line. Moving out to Arizona, we have the New York Rangers opening up the season against the Phoenix Coyotes. Mike Smith, the confirmed starter for Phoenix. Lundqvist not confirmed, but you have to believe he's going to be the starter here. And this game is still at minus 110 both ways. I'm not sure I could back the Phoenix Coyotes with confidence here, and I'm not really sure I could take the New York Rangers, who in this first month of the season, buyer beware, they're really in a tough schedule spot this entire month with a ton of road games. I think they play like 9 out of 13 games on the road. They're starting off on a Western Coast swing here. They were actually on the West Coast at the end of preseason, so Rangers pretty much living out of a suitcase for the first, for the last month and a half here, going in through the month of October, and so like I said, buyer beware. So I don't know what's going to happen here. It's definitely a good price at Pick'em, and for that I'll sit back and just watch and record what happens. Final game on the card: Vancouver Canucks against the San Jose Sharks, and we do have a confirmed Roberto Luongo in goal for Vancouver, and we have confirmed Antti Niemi for San Jose. Of course, San Jose bouncing Vancouver last year in straight games in the Western Conference playoffs, and they open up here as a minus 140 favorite. You have to think the Sharks are going to take care of business here. They're an exceptional home ice team to begin with, and like I said, Tortorella getting a start in Vancouver, and I think this team is going to be a couple steps behind maybe in the beginning here. It's hard to figure what they're going to do. I'm not so down on thinking that Tortorella can't coach. This guy clearly can coach. As I said in the playoff videos last year, I consider him a douche, but in the sense of like a Mike Keenan. Excellent coach, gets great results, but he definitely grates. These type of people grate on your last nerve, and then once that happens, and everybody turns against you, it's time to go. And so that's pretty much Tortorella. So getting a fresh start doesn't mean the cancer's. People joke and say, oh, the cancer's in Vancouver now. Like I said, these guys can coach. They can motivate players that have never had motivation. Call them on there. So it may benefit this team. Maybe he can get the Sedins to actually play a little better. But like I said, in the beginning of the season, I'm looking for them to be just trying to get acclimated and things like that. Definitely to a more defensive style. Of course, Tortorella pretty much invented blocky, as it's known right now. Players falling and diving in front of pucks, or making it a prominent strategy in NHL games. And so this is going to be something for for the Canucks to grasp and get onto. So it may be a little behind the times. So on opening night, I'm certainly going to take the Sharks here at minus 140, and on the puck line, they're certainly to buy, and that'll be my play on the puck line minus 1.5. As it should be a relatively wide open game. Like I said, the Sharks can play a defensive style, but like I said, opening night, I'm looking for all cylinders on go. So that brings us to the end of this report for today, and I'll tweet out my plays firmly on Twitter later, and also post them on View from Vegas. Pass these videos around. A tremendous response so far, and I really appreciate it. It makes it fun for me. Like I said, people showing the love out there and stuff. So let's drop the puck, and even more importantly, let's make some money.